Welcome to the resources lesson. In this lesson, we're going to talk about managing your files, your different videos and images and Swift animations, and we'll show you how to upload your content and how to manage it within the campaign. When you work with files such as images or Swift animations, those files get stored on our servers. And anytime a Signage player connects to a particular campaign, the content gets cached at the level of the Signage player. So if there's going to be a loss of internet connectivity, there's not going to be any interruption to your audience. The player just keeps on playing the presentation as is. But again, all the content gets cached on the local player and downloads from our server. So in this tutorial, we're going to show you how to upload the content to our server so it's ready for you to use within your campaign. Now keep in mind that we also support linking to external resources. So if you wanted to host videos or images or Swift animations on your own private web servers, we also have the ability to link via an external component, but we do have a different video tutorial for that. Over here you can see the different video file formats that we support. FLV Flash Video is actually the most recommended format, and regardless of which format you use, you want to make sure that you use H.264 encoding for that format. So Flash Video with H.264 encoding will really give you the best performance, and the smallest type file with the highest quality. You can do full HD with the FLV H.264 for videos. We do support PNG, JPEG, and GIFs for images. The PNG are recommended and you can do full transparency with them. We do support MP3 for our music background player, and we also support Adobe PDF if you wanted to upload documentation. So here now we're looking at the Signage Studio, and over here under the toolbox you can see that we have the resources module, and we can see the different files that already exist in my campaign. Now if I wanted to actually switch to the full resources module, I can go over here to navigation and enable the resource, and here I'll be presented with all the different files I have in the system that I can work with. If I select a particular file, I'll be able to download and view it. If I wanted to create a snapshot or an image of that resource so it's going to be easier to work with on the timeline, I can click on the camera icon just over here, move the rectangle around, select the area I want, and click OK. This created a thumbnail for that resource. Let's go ahead and view all the thumbnails that are available. So I'm looking at the same resources, but I'm just looking at them via a thumbnail view, and you can see that I've created a thumbnail view for my resource. If I switch back to my timelines, I can select the same resource that I've created the thumbnail for and drag and drop it to an empty channel. So it's easier to work with resources that they've created a thumbnail for. If I select another resource that doesn't have a thumbnail, you'll see that we just see the default icon. So thumbnails make it a little bit easier to work with resources on the timeline. I can also add resources to scenes. So let's switch to the scene editor. Make a little more room here. Go to my resources, select the video file for example, drag and drop it. And we're able to position it any way we want within the scene. Next, let's go ahead and upload a resource from the local computer and save it so it gets uploaded to the server so we can actually use it in the presentation. So go ahead and click on the plus sign right over here and go ahead and select from local. Switch to a directory. And we'll make sure that only images are selected right now to filter by. And you can hold down the control key and select multiple resources if you want to upload multiple files at the same time. Click on File Save, and the resources will get uploaded to the server so you can begin using them in the presentation. Let's confirm that the resources did upload properly. So I know one of the resources was named logo, so I'll go over here and just type the word LOGO, and I can filter by its specific name. So I'll go ahead and select it, and sure enough it uploaded properly. So you can use the filter right here to filter for specific names. If I wanted to see all the resources that have the number 133 in them, I can just type 133 and filter by that string. Another way to manage resources is with folders. So in order for you to create folders, all you have to do is select one particular file. For example, if I'll go ahead and select my logo again, and decide that I want to put it inside a folder called ABC. And therefore what I'll do is over here under its properties, I'll go ahead and put a /A, /B, and /C. And therefore what I'm doing is I'm creating a 3-level directory structure, and the logo PNG will actually appear in all 3 levels. And I'll go ahead and press on enter. And you see that now we've created a 3-level folder structure, and the logo will appear in all of them. So let me go ahead and just remove the filter right over here. I'll select A, B, or C, and you can see that the logo appears. If I select on all, I'll see all resources. Let's go ahead and select the 661 FLV video and go ahead and put it in the /A and /B folder and press on enter. And now if I'll go back to my C level, you'll see that I'm only going to see my logo resource, but if I go to the B level, I'll see both the video and the PNG image. And so this allows you to create a multi-level filter structure using folders. Next, let's go ahead and review some of the properties that you can view and set for each resource. So over here you have the resource name that you can change. You also have the folder structure that we've just explained. You can see right here the width and the height of the resource, which is very important because if you're going to upload this resource and assign it to a particular screen division or to a scene, you want to make sure that it's exactly the right width and height so there's no skewing. And you can also see the total size of the resource. The access keys are done for security, and we've covered that under the privileges video tutorial. One very important property is the total time, and you can see it right now. The total time is 0. It really is just default. But what this means is that when you set the total time, when you drag this resource to the timeline, it will by default occupy the length of the time that you set here. And of course you can still modify it at the level of the timeline, but it just makes it convenient to set it here so you have a default resource time. And so let's try this out. We'll go ahead and set a default time of, let's say, 10 seconds for this resource, and go ahead and switch to our timelines. Go ahead and make a little bit of room here for this resource. You can see that it's already selected. Go ahead and drag and drop it to the timeline. And you can see that by default it will occupy exactly 10 seconds, as this is the default resource length. And of course, as I mentioned, you can still modify the length if you'd like, but by default it occupied 10 seconds. There are a few other ways that you can upload resources to your presentation. You can click on the plus sign right here and select from shared to access our shared library of resources. You can also upload resources from Flickr. So if you click over here, and let's go and type in dogs and click on search, and you can see there's a whole bunch of nice quality pictures. Let's go and select one and press OK. Remove the filter, scroll down and select our new resource, and here's the nice image. Now you do want to make sure that you do have copyrights to this image, so this is something that you need to check on the Flickr website. Next, I wanted to show you how easy it is to search and replace resources on the timeline. So let's switch over here to the timelines. And let's say that I wanted to replace all the resources on channel 0 that have the number 6 in them. So all I have to do is simply select channel 0, go over here to the search bar and type the number 6 and click on search. And you can see that it automatically selects all the resources for me that have the number 6 in them. So most of them do, except this resource over here that doesn't have it. In fact, if you want to see what its name, go ahead and extend it. You can see it has the word smoke, so it doesn't have the number 6 and therefore it's not being selected. And now to actually replace the resources, all you have to do is simply select another resource. In our case, we'll just select the image. We'll go ahead and drag and drop it to any one of the selected resources, really anywhere you can drop it. And we'll go ahead and select to replace with the selection. So you don't want to just drop the item, you actually want to replace all the selected items, and click OK. And the corresponding videos were selected with the dropped image. Now let me go ahead and show you another trick that you can use to search and replace. So let's say, for example, you have a resource that's on the timeline and you don't want to have to go ahead and reposition it and resize it every time you want to swap out the resource. So if I have this resource right here that has exactly this size and position and I want to replace it, but I don't want to have to resize and reposition the new resource, all I have to do is double click to load up its properties. And again, select any resource that I want over here from the resource list. So I'll go ahead and select the logo and drag and drop it exactly where it has the image name. And you see that now the resource was swapped out, but it still occupies the same length and position as the previous resource. I'll go ahead and click on File, Save, and the new name of the swapped resource appears here. So as you see, resources are a vital part of your presentation. You upload resource to the servers and they download to each individual player where they get cached. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and thanks for watching.